You've likely seen the TV trope put it in layman's terms. This is when one character asks another, usually a scientist, nerd, or geek, to explain what they're trying to say using simple words. The scientist is engaging in technobabble, which is jargon consisting of technical language or slang and scientific buzzwords. When a character asks for this language to be put in layman's terms, they mean clear and concise language to avoid complex vocabulary and easy enough for anyone to understand. A lot of the time, these explanations are for the audience and not the character, because the character should understand what is being said. Like in Christopher Nolan's Interstellar, when scientists or astronauts explain things to other scientists or astronauts that they should know in order to be qualified for this trip.
I could swing around that neutron star to decelerate.
No, it's not that. It's time. The gravity on that planet will slow our clock compared to Earth's drastically.
Unlike Interstellar, which has a lot of scientific backing, it's also a way of explaining something that makes no sense or has little scientific basis to begin with. Sometimes the explanation is oversimplified, used as a joke, or the scientist should have known that no one would understand. Say it in layman's terms can be seen in Power Rangers RPM.
Doctor, I may be a simple mechanic, but I'm still a mechanic.
Very well. Due to the Blue Color series' time field manipulation properties, many of the series' basic system elements exist in a fourth-dimensional field where time is suspended. Because time does not move forward on this plane of existence, there is a buildup of runoff energy that can reverse the polarity in the electron field channeled through your suit during morph cartridge injection sequences.
Can we say that again, but in layman's terms?
That was layman's terms.
And in the video game Portal.
Momentum, a function of mass and velocity, is conserved between portals. In layman's terms, speedy thing goes in, speedy thing comes out.
This trope is also parodied in 30 Rock.
I got the results of your blood work back.
Right, yes, and?
Well, cytotoxic cross-match of target HLA resulted in lyses of cells. Now, Jack, in layman's terms, what do you think that means?
And in Family Guy.
Your test results came back negative. It appears the lump in your breast is not black, gross boob death.
Breast cancer?
That's the layman's term, yes.
Sometimes characters don't ask for technobabble to be put in layman's terms, they simply ask, what does that mean? This can be seen in The Matrix.
The pill you took is part of a trace program. It's designed to disrupt your input-output carrier signal so we can pinpoint your location. What does that mean?
It means buckle your seatbelt, Dorothy, because Kansas is going bye-bye.
Mad Max 2 Road Warrior.
The rig! How is she?
Got a cracked timing case cover and it's broken a couple of teeth off the timing gears.
Got a cracked timing case cover, it's broken a couple of teeth off the timing gear.
The radiator's damaged at the core.
The radiator's damaged at the core.
Got a cracked water pump.
It's got a cracked water pump.
And a fractured injector line.
It's got a fractured injector line.
Well, what does all that mean?
Yeah, okay, but what does that mean? What does that mean?
24 hours.
24 hours?
They've got 12.
You've got 12! Okay.
And the early 2000s Justice League animated series.
How can we stop it?
There is one possibility. To halt the process, we would need to create an Einstein-Rosen bridge to drain off the infecting anti-fusion matter.
Create a what? Do what?
Make a wormhole to suck away the bad stuff.
Oh.
Another version of the trope has the character give the scientist or nerd a confused stare to show that they don't understand. This can be seen in Eureka.
Yeah, the aligned carbon-14 allows hyperdense qubit storage in an optical quantum processor. Diamonds can store tons of data and transmit it super fast.
Because I had no idea.
Avengers Age of Ultron.
Their abilities?
He's got increased metabolism and improved thermal homeostasis. Her thing is neuroelectric interfacing, telekinesis, mental manipulation. He's fast and she's weird.
And Total Drama Revenge of the Island.
The collar seems to have an anti-removal feature, which sends a strong electric current to the central nervous system. If you take it off, it goes zap zap and gives you an owie. Never mind.
When a character wants to explain something to the audience, they'll often say, "So what you're saying is..." This is often seen in Buffy the Vampire Slayer when trying to explain their demon mumbo-jumbo.
Well, the demon universe exists in a dimension separate from our own. With one breath, the Cathla will create a vortex, a kind of whirlpool that will pull everything on Earth into that dimension. where any non-demon life will suffer horrible and eternal torment.
So that would be the literal kind of sucked into hell. Neat.
But as the Slayer, you don't have the luxury of being a slave to your passions. You mustn't let Angel get to you, no matter how provocative his behavior may become.
So what you're basically saying is just ignore him and maybe he'll go away?
Yes, precisely.
Hey, how come Buffy doesn't get as snotty once again you boil it down to the simplest form thing?
Once the scientist has explained the jargon, the character will sometimes say, "Why didn't you say that in the first place?" This can be seen in Star Trek Voyager.
There's no need to insult the man, just because he doesn't know how to find an interspatial flexure.
Interspatial flexure? Why didn't you say so in the first place? He said wormhole, a layman's term that covers any number of phenomena.
And in the Mindy Project.
Just give me the Phillips head, okay? The crisscrossy one.
Why didn't you just say that in the first place?
A common variation of the trope can be seen when the character says, "I don't speak, insert group here." The character is trying to show that they are not a member of the group that's speaking using the technical terms. This is seen in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I see you're hung up on superficial facades.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I don't speak geek.
The World Is Not Enough.
Do you want to explain why you did that? I could have stopped that bomb. You almost killed us.
I did kill us. She thinks we're dead, and she thinks she got away with it.
Do you want to put that in English for those of us who don't speak Spy?
And Justified.
Denial of service attack.
Denial of what? You better speak to Larry. I don't speak nerd.
This version has also been parodied in Firefly.
Her medications are erratic. There's not one that her system can eventually break down. Then
I want a lot of medical jargon. I'll talk to a doctor.
You are talking to a doctor.
When I say I don't speak blank, it is usually followed by, "Can you translate?" This version of the trope can be seen in the Oxford murders.
The second sign gives the clue as to how the sequence should be read. It could be figurative representations, or could be semantic or syntactic, like geometric figures.
Can you translate that?
And is parodied in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Allow me to clarify. In a sequentially ranked hierarchy based on level of critical importance, the disparity between us is too vast to quantify. Agent Stone?
The doctor thinks you're basic.
After asking someone to translate, you need to say what language you would like that to be translated into. Often the response is in English. This variation asks the character to explain their perfectly clear English in English, but what they actually want is simpler language. This is the most common variation of the trope, making its way into video games, like in Command & Conquer Renegade.
The Black Hands Regenesis project is based upon my research. They're utilizing Tiberium as a mutagen to incite forced genetic acceleration.
English, Doc.
Anime as seen in Cowboy Bebop.
Starting with the monosystem, orbit calculator, navigator, engine control, communication circuit.
They're all gone.
Kidding me. Is that the
I don't get it. How about using English, huh?
The computer's kaput, and we're drifting through space towards certain oblivion.
Animated series like The Simpsons.
Homer, I'm afraid you'll have to undergo a coronary bypass operation.
Say it in English, Doc.
You're going to need open heart surgery.
Spare me your medical mumbo-jumbo.
And TV series like Better Off Ted.
Okay, fellas, nerd it up.
We've been developing a new search engine. And unlike language-based search engines, this face-matching technology uses visual recognition.
Less nerd, more English.
You take an image of a person.
Or picture.
And scan it into a computer.
Or magic box.
I'm not embarrassed to say this is helping.
The trope is inverted in the Avengers when Tony finally finds someone he can engage in technobabble with.
Loki need any particular kind of power source?
He'd have to heat the cube to 120 million Kelvin just to break through the Coulomb barrier.
Unless Selvig has figured out how to stabilize the quantum tunneling effect.
Well, if he could do that, he could achieve heavy ion fusion at any reactor on the planet.
Finally, someone who speaks English. Is that what just happened?
It is also parodied in the Aquabat Super Show.
Jimmy, what's wrong with me?
It's low energy, Commander. Your blood sugar levels have dipped dangerously low.
Speak English, robot! English!
It's low energy, Commander. Your blood sugar levels have dipped frightfully low.
The earliest version of the trope comes from the 1960s British classic Doctor Who. In the episode Day of the Daleks, the Doctor is explaining why the time machine broke and the Brigadier says, well, you'll see.
Is the temporal feedback circuit is overloaded?
The what's done what?
In your terms, Brigadier, the thing's blown a fuse.
While this may be the earliest example that includes technobabble, there is one more version of the trope we should cover. That is, what does that mean in American? This version can be seen in the 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Ah, correct, Master Splinter. But the space-time continuum will be out of phase after 60 hours.
Wait a second. Time out. Now, what does all that mean in American?
If we don't come back in 2.5 days, we're turtle soup.
But originated in 1934's Riptide, a romantic drama about a woman who has to choose between the man she married and the man she once loved.
You know that Tommy can make any party.
Yes, so I've heard. Well, I'm going to get him.
No, then you won't come. Tommy can bend anyone to his will.
I'm not bending this season. Come on, you chaperone me. I'll get him out. He looked my way once in New York.
Lucky you. Now, what does that mean in American, look my way?
That means making a pass, darling. Making a pass.
No.
See?
Most today would know what looked my way means in the context she was using it in, but this was not the case in the 30s. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, please subscribe and check out the other TV trope videos I have made, including the trope finishing each other's sentences and the chair turn review. Remember, humankind, be both. And as always, you'll hear me in the next one.